Hey, welcome to The Explainer. There's one skill I really, really wish I had learned way earlier in life, and that's how to speak with real clarity and confidence. So today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're breaking down 9 super simple but powerful habits that will literally transform how you communicate.
Oh man, you know that feeling, right? You're in the middle of a sentence, you're super passionate about what you're saying, and then poof, it's gone. Your brain just hits a wall, but your mouth keeps going, and you can't for the life of you remember the point you were trying to make. It is so frustrating. But hey, it happens to every single one of us.
But here's the really great news. Speaking clearly, it is not some gift from the heavens that only a few people get. Nope, it's a skill. And just like any other skill, it's all about building a set of habits that you can actually practice and get great at. So if you think you're stuck as a bad communicator, I'm here to tell you that's just not true. You can absolutely change it. Okay, so to make this super practical, we've broken these 9 habits down into a simple toolkit. Think of it in 3 parts. First, we'll talk about delivery habits. That's all about how you say things. Then we'll get into vocal habits. You got to take care of your instrument, right? And finally, and this one is maybe the most important, we'll cover cognitive habits, which is all about how you organize your thoughts before you even open your mouth.
All right, let's dive right in. Part 1, habits for clear delivery. These are all about the physical stuff, the mechanics that can make you sound way more confident and trustworthy, like right away.
Okay, first up is probably the most overlooked yet powerful tool in all of communication, the pause. Seriously, think about it like this. When you are reading, paragraphs break things up, right? Without them, you just have this giant, intimidating wall of text. Well, it's the exact same thing when you're speaking. Pauses create that white space for your ideas. They let things land. They give your words weight. If you don't use them, everything just mushes together into one long, forgettable sound. And that brings us to habit number 2, which is the perfect partner for the pause. Just slowing down. So many of us, myself included sometimes, we just have one speed, fast. But think about it. If you talk fast all the time, nothing seems important. It's kind of like taking a highlighter and just coloring in the entire page of a book. What's the point? So instead, start thinking of slowing down as your verbal highlighter. When you slow your pace, you're basically telling your listener, hey, pay attention. This part is really important.
Okay, for our third delivery habit, we've got to talk about rambling. We all do it. It's that thing that happens when your mouth is just running way ahead of your brain. You're basically thinking out loud, and it sounds a little something like this. Just listen to how vague and wishy-washy this is. There's zero conviction here.
So the big shift we need to make is from rambling to making clear, declarative statements. And trust me, the difference is like night and day. A declarative statement is short, it's to the point, and it signals that you actually thought about what you were going to say before you said it. It's all about replacing that hesitation with some real clarity and conviction. Okay, now listen to that exact same idea, but this time as a declarative statement. It's so much better. Timing and consistency with our social media content will directly impact engagement. See that? Boom. Same core message, but it sounds 1,000 times clearer, more confident, more professional. That right there is the power of just stating things directly. All right, let's keep building on this. We're moving into part 2, habits for a stronger voice. I love this framing. Your voice is your instrument. And you've got to take care of your instrument, right? So these next few habits are all about vocal health and just having more presence when you speak. It's funny, we forget that our voice is literally a system of muscles. You'd never just jump off the couch and run a full-on sprint without warming up, right? So why would you give a huge presentation on a cold voice? That's just asking for strain and fatigue. A super simple lip trill routine, like the one here, is an incredible way to get everything warmed up without putting any stress on your vocal cords. Just, maybe do it in your car on the way to work, not 5 seconds before you stand up to speak.
Okay, this next one is totally fascinating to me because it's not even about when you're speaking. It's about what you do when you're not speaking. Most of us, and we don't even realize it, we default to breathing through our mouths, especially when we're concentrating. But look at the difference here. Mouth breathing dries out your throat, your vocal cords, it makes you tired. But nose breathing, it keeps everything hydrated. It boosts your oxygen efficiency by, get this, 20%. And it actually calms you down by activating your parasympathetic nervous system. It's a total game changer for sure. And this idea right here really nails our next vocal habit. We're not talking about shouting at people, okay? This is about speaking with presence, with some life, some vitality.
When you use a good, healthy volume, you're doing more than just sharing information. You're actually transferring energy to the other person. People subconsciously connect vocal strength with personal strength. So if your voice sounds small and timid, they're probably going to think your ideas are small and timid too. And that brings us to our final section, part 3. And honestly, this might be the most important part of the whole thing. Habits for sharper thinking. Because look, you can have a great delivery and a strong voice, but if your thoughts are a total mess, none of it matters. This is all about what's happening in your brain before a single word comes out.
The first cognitive habit sounds so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Finish one thought at a time. When you start a thought, then jump to another one, then circle back, you're making your listener's brain work way too hard. They have to chase you, and you know what happens? They just give up. They zone out. But look at the contrast. When you finish an idea, pause, and then move on, you sound structured. You sound persuasive. You don't sound like a scattered mess.
Okay, have you ever been in that situation where you're explaining what you think is a brilliant idea, but you just get these blank, confused stares back? Yeah, we've all been there. But I want to let you in on a secret. When people are confused, it's almost never you, and it's not your idea. It's your structure. The way you're presenting it is the problem. And the solution is to use a simple framework to get your thoughts in order.
Because without a framework, trying to explain something important, like asking your boss for help, it just comes out as this stream of consciousness mess. It's a jumble of, well, I talked to this person, and we're worried about this thing, and we need more support because it's all over the place. It's really hard to follow, which makes it really, really easy to ignore.
But a super simple framework like this CCC model can fix that instantly. It's so easy. First, you give the context. That's the why. Why are we talking about this right now? Then you hit them with the core idea. That's the what. What is the one thing I need you to know? And finally, you connect it to them. You explain its relevance. Why should they care? It just turns a jumbled mess into a nice, clear, logical story.
And now let's hear that exact same request, but using that CCC framework. Listen to how clean this is. It's clear, it's concise, and it's so much more compelling. It goes from a confusing ramble to a message that actually resonates, all because of 3 simple steps. That's what having a structure for your thoughts can do for you.
All right, our final cognitive habit is a lifesaver for those moments when you have to explain something really complex. What's our natural instinct? We just repeat the same thing over and over, maybe a little louder or a little slower, right? But that rarely works. The real secret is to explain it differently, and the absolute best way to do that is by using an analogy.
I mean, take compounding interest, for example. You could try to explain the math and the formulas and watch everyone's eyes glaze over. Or you can use the classic snowball analogy. It connects something people don't know, compounding interest, to something they do know, a snowball rolling down a hill. It takes this abstract, complicated idea and makes it simple, visual, and totally memorable. That's the magic of a good analogy. It's a shortcut to, aha, I get it.
So there you have it, 9 habits broken down across delivery, your voice, and your thinking. But what's the big takeaway here? What does all this stuff add up to? Well, the goal isn't just to become a more efficient information delivery machine. It's about something way, way deeper than that. You see, when you learn how to speak more clearly, when you learn to speak with confidence, you're not just getting better at presentations. You're actually letting the world meet the real you. You're giving people a direct connection to your ideas, to your passion, to your energy. It's one of the most powerful forms of self-expression there is. And I want to leave you with this incredible thought from the brilliant Maya Angelou, because it just perfectly sums up why all of this matters so much. She said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And at the end of the day, that's what these habits are all about. They're not just tricks to sound smarter, they are tools to help you connect with people and make them feel something.